Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Star Citizen Alpha 3.24, the big cargo patch, has been in Evocati and now wave 1 of its PTU for quite some time. And it's not the most playable patch in the world at the moment. There are some snags, there are some bugs, there are some problems, and even just over the last few days, lots more problems have become apparent with that patch. Now, what's going on with that? Well, the cargo changes with the patch, basically the removal of global inventory, the big changes to UI and the way that the databases work, the physicalization of commodities are all pretty big changes, and they've caused loads of sort of back-end problems and things that they need to solve. Not necessarily problems, I should say, as well. They're things they need to solve before server meshing, but they haven't solved them all yet, and there's lots of bugs with them. Hangers as well. They're persistent instanced hangers. They're causing loads of issues because they are occupying a sort of new space and needing to be streamed in for the entirety of a session once a player sort of spawns them. And you can also spawn your ships in those hangars, and connected to sort of a cargo and hangars, there's the freight elevators, and elevators traditionally not the most stable thing that Star Citizen has, but when you also combine those with spawning sort of cargo and accessing lots of database stuff, well, you've got a recipe for a boat ton of bugs. So there's also been a big problem with lag, latency, desync, interaction, and this is partly due to some network message queue problems that CIG are testing some new tech for, and updates, they've been doing stuff on the tech preview build and things like that. I thought these were going to be 4.0 updates, but it's quite possible they'll make it into 3.24 to address some of those issues. And over the last few weeks, they've been fixing tons and tons and tons of bugs. It's just, there are still a load of, or at least maybe it's only a few now, there's just a few quite egregious bugs which are causing issue. The most egregious one at the moment, and the latest build, is at certain locations with transit loops, one direction of the loop will cease to function, and anything that prevents you playing the game like that is pretty annoying, or at least making it so that you have to go all the way around the city again. And there are things like elevator doors not opening and hangars not functioning correctly. They need to solve those issues. They need to solve them really before they go to wave 2. And because they're going to want to try and get 3.24 out by the end of this month. So next couple of weeks, if at all possible. And this will all get fixed. It will all get optimized. It's just how long is it going to be before we get the patch in a playable state? Yeah, and I think between end of August and mid-September at the moment for something live build-like, but they also have Alpha 4.0 coming up, at least we hope. CIG have basically given us a target of within the next few months with Alpha 4.0. They've been very vague with it. We don't really know if that means live and in working condition for CitizenCon or by the end of the year, or if this is all going to implode when they try and sort of put it on the servers and it's going to be like an Alpha 3.18 situation. The risk of that, though, is significantly lower. They've got loads of ways of testing, sort of at Alpha 4.0, they've got the tech preview build. They've been testing stuff with server meshing and all that sort of jazz for quite a while. So yeah, in the latest patch, they wanted to go to wave 2, but those transit bugs basically made them go, no, they're frustrating. We don't want to push it to wave 2 yet. And they're going to try and solve those over the next day or so, and then push it to wave 2 if possible. I suppose, if sensible. Something else they very much want to do, potentially over the weekend again, will be run the Blockade Runner event, because that was very cool. It's just the cargo actually dropping it off broke on most people's servers when they're trying to complete that mission, so it wasn't sort of fully completable. But the constituent parts of it mostly worked. So a good test of it was done. But yeah, it obviously needs to be completely working and completable. And I do know that some people towards the end of the tests, or if they were on a degraded server, they were having terrible time with it. So something else I did see from CIG is that they are going to be balancing and rebalancing the cargo hauling missions that are part of 3.24. So on a post about cargo hauling missions, CIG basically said, we've been using all your data to help balance this and work bits out. The old data and the old stuff, we knew it's going to be a magnitude sort of off, but now that they've collected a load of data, they're going to be working this out a lot better. In the next few days, we'll be committing an update to rebalance all cargo hauling missions. This will make them feel more worthwhile while still respecting EVR. Effort versus reward. So CIG have basically been building this algorithm and system to measure and work out effort versus reward for their sort of procedurally generated cargo missions and all that sort of jazz. On the subject of EVR, we've used all your fantastic feedback during the development of the hauling missions to iterate a balance of the EVR numbers, which will have a wider effect across all missions going forward. To note another change along with this, we noticed people mentioning ships as a progression. While reputation and other awards will be more of a source of progression, we can see how it would be difficult to engage with some of the bigger SCU missions when you only have a Nomad or starter ship. With this, Nick and I are reducing the amount it costs to rent some hauling focused ships and also some multi-purpose ships that can haul, which also means some ships that are not currently rentable will become rentable. I won't list them all because there's 20 plus, but we will be looking at making rentable the following ships: Vulture, Freelancer, Raft, Mole, Mercury Star Runner, Carrack, Caterpillar, Hull C, Reclaimer, Starfarer, and more. So that will be actually pretty good for the game. I suspect that will propagate out to the live build as well, and you should actually see some more ships and vehicles become purchasable in-game that were basically previously just purchase exclusives, I suppose, because they have a 3-month exclusivity period for ships that have become flyable into the game before they are available in in-game shops. And we know that there's that new Aegis ship that should be turning up in 3.24. There's a possibility that a new Crusader starter might also be turning up, although that looks like it's going to be later in the year. But yeah, boom! That's it for your Alpha 3.24 updates today. I'm hoping that we get live by the end of August, but we might not. It's going to be based on how that sort of testing goes. I would expect wider PTU by the end of this week, and then open PTU at the very least by the end of the month. But those changes that they made to the patch were pretty foundational. However, I suppose we are sort of very keen for Alpha 4.0 with server meshing and all that sort of stuff. A new star system, engineering, tests tons and tons and tons of stuff, and that sort of cargo update. It's important, and it's relatively big, but it was supposed to be part of 3.23. Anyway, I digress, and I'm ranting again. I'm just interested to know what you think. Are you excited for 3.24 and all those cargo updates? Have you been playing in the PTU? What do you think of that? And do you think it's going to be able to make a live build by the end of the month, which I'm hoping? Or do you think it's far off? Are you concerned that 4.0 is going to explode everything? Were you playing in the Blockade Runner sort of playtest over the weekend? What did you think of that? Whatever your thoughts and questions, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. You stand at the pearly gates. The winged being there weighs your sins against the weight of a feather. You are found wanting. Not a problem for nordvpn.com/BoredGamer though. Just change your location. Boom! You're in. Bypass your sin. Get nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Probably not a tagline that Nord wants, bypass your sin, but that's what they're getting. Maybe they want one about its added security, privacy, or accessibility. Pah, everyone knows that. You get that at a touch of a button. Click these links below to get great deals on that VPN service. Every month we give away a ship, and this month of August is all about your favourite ships, because it's the ship showdown. My favourite ship is the Mercury Star Runner, and I don't want to give one of those away, but I will. It's a fantastic little multi-role, multi-crew ship. It's got a bit of cargo space, it's got room for a little vehicle, it's got a good amount of firepower, perfect little mission runner. In the future it's going to have data running, it's good for smuggling, it's got lots of secret little hidey holes. I absolutely love this ship. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during August. Also, I would love to know what your favourite ship is. If you would like to further support the channel, consider just commenting or liking, subscribing. That all helps. But also there's the join button under my videos. That goes a huge way to allow us to make daily content on Star Citizen. There's also Patreon, sharing the videos, direct donations. There's links to all of that down below. Thank you so much for watching to the end. You take care and have a great day.